do you get into tech sales? Okay, Gartner. Now, how did you transition from Gartner to Microsoft? How did you hack into Microsoft? Because we're talking about the number one, if not the biggest and largest, sales organization in the world, the best technologies and services. How did you hack into Microsoft? Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, so a big portion of that was my network. So when I was looking at making a move from Gartner to see what else was out there, I reached out to a bunch of
Mhm.
the folks that I had networked with at Gartner. So there was a bunch, two or three of the folks were either in my training class or were in that initial cohort in my training class, like Robert was. And so I reached out to Robert, reached out to a couple other friends of mine, and just said, "Hey, I'm looking to make a move." Um, and I think at the
Mhm.
time, if I can be vulnerable here, like I was terrified of leaving. So I was like, I
Mhm.
don't know if the skill set I have is like my only
Mhm.
frame of reference was Gartner. So I didn't know, like, is this skill set even needed or valued or wanted out in the rest of the marketplace? And I talked to my friends who had left
Mhm.
Gartner onto other sales roles, and they're like, yes, absolutely it is. You're going to be okay. Like we'll help you out through this. And so I had a little bit of help from a lot of help from my network and folks. So that's one. Like, you need to know people outside of your company and network with the folks that are
Mhm.
there, because when they leave, they'll go to somewhere else, probably same role, right? Different company, maybe it's a different industry or field, but so I'd say network is like number one, right? And then when I reached out to Robert, there were some openings in SMC and enterprise, and by the time I got my application in, the ones for SMC were gone and they were for enterprise. And so, Robert being just the
Yeah.
you know high performer he is, right? That helped in terms of kind of getting me through that initial front door, and then you're on your own, right? You got to interview well. You got to showcase your skills and the value you're going to bring to the organization and all of that. And so that was how I went from Gartner into into Microsoft. And I mean, I
Mhm.
was applying, to a bunch of different places. I was in a couple interview loops, um, and then the
Perfect.
Microsoft
So it
said
was
yes, so I came over
one
here.
friend. Did